Did you know that each generation has its own profile or persona, mostly used by marketers to define a target audience? Yeah. For millennials, it is or was the I generation. I want what I want, when I want it, and how I want it. It basically speaks to our instant gratification. Yes, we love instant gratification, and we dare to call Gen Z entitled. Why am I talking about this? How does it come in? Well, it's just to show that even this current generation, it's not that they're lazy or entitled or confused or any of the other things that we call them. They're just different. They like to do things differently. They have different motivations. And maybe because we don't understand it, then we interpret it differently. But as parents, it would help if we understood them. Then we'd be able to give them the support that they need as they go through life. So who am I talking about when I say them? I mean our children, the ones born between 1997 and 2012, that's the Gen Z, and anybody born after 2013, that's the Gen Alpha. And what's their profile? Well, basically, they're called the digital natives. Why? They were born with a phone in hand. These are the guys who used to swipe up on YouTube videos or swipe across to cut your calls as they're watching their YouTube videos on Cocomelon. It's also common knowledge that they have a short attention span. Actually, not so different from us, as I realized. The research shows that millennial attention span is actually 12 seconds, while Gen Z attention span is 8 seconds, only a difference of 4 seconds. I think we tend to exaggerate a little bit, but it must mean something. What might be surprising about this generation is they're actually defined as pragmatic. Pragmatic, yeah, I mean sensible. Sensible with how they spend their money, sensible with how they spend their time. When you see them doing something, they've actually thought about it. They just don't do impulsive things as we imagine. Especially when it comes to money and grind. These guys are particular. They have a well thought out plan. Remember, these are the children who have the audacity to call out their parents for the things they did that they feel affected their lives. This could be the children whose parents were highly paid corporate executives that decided to quit their jobs and start their own business, thereby denying them some privileges that they had become accustomed to. That's where the title of entitlement might come from. They're also the ones who recognize that their parents were never really home. They were always working hard to pay for their private school, to pay for the things that they needed, to pay for the TV that they were watching. And instead of taking it as an example of how to live life, they decided, that's not how I want to live my life. One thing that stands out for them is that they value authenticity. That is, they want to be able to express their truth and expect others to do the same. Don't live a hidden life or don't say things which you don't mean or have hidden meaning. They don't work like that. Finally, these guys are legacy driven. They want to know that they've made an impact in the world. So when you see them taking selfies or making their lives public movies for everyone to watch, it's not about oversharing. It's actually about having a life stamp that they lived this life and the world knew them for a particular thing. They don't want to be wapitanjia in this world. They want to be remembered. And as such, they also extend that honor to their friends and family, people that they value. I saw one of my younger cousins sharing an event poster complete with a dress code, and it was for a funeral of one of her friends. They wanted to celebrate his life in his own style. And I couldn't help but acknowledge how this generation actually see each other in a way that other generations didn't. Anyway, to pivot back to focus, how does this affect their career planning and decision making? Well, it would be good to know that this generation might not necessarily dream about a corner office or the latest car or a house of their own. Those things don't really jazz them. They dream of a meaningful life, a life that gives them the flexibility to do what they love, the creativity to do it differently, and to make an impact. While millennials were groomed for structure, these guys are groomed for agility. And it makes sense because the world is changing so fast. So from this description or profile, it might seem that the way is already clear for this generation. But is it really? First, these guys are overwhelmed by options. Someone said that maybe in our time we were choosing between like 5 to 20 careers, and you remember when media or even IT was not considered mainstream. Right now, these guys have like 50,000 job roles when they Google. Like, you can become so many things, and they all require you to take a different path and still remain agile enough to adapt or evolve to whatever your role will become when AI suddenly takes over. Then they have so much information. When you add a global environment plus Google plus ChatGPT, there's so much information that these guys can get frozen. Like, the information is not helping them make decisions, it's actually overwhelming the decision-making process. And then the thing about globalization, you're told the world is now globalized, so you approach things from a global perspective. And then when you share your ideas, you're told, that won't work in Africa, or this is Africa. And you're like, I thought you guys said that this is a global world. Why are you then taking me back? It just seems to them that everyone knows something, but no one knows anything for sure, except that things are changing. It makes sense that these guys are the most anxious generation. Speaking of anxiety, these guys are also struggling with performance anxiety and imposter syndrome. Why? As these guys grew up, the messaging that they got was that they were going to be unique, the greatest generation, the generation to free us from all the problems that we have, the technology generation. And it's like all these things, all these superlatives that we have piled upon them, that they're supposed to just come automatically. And when they don't, then it becomes, is there something wrong with me? Then, of course, they have their own desires, careers that pay well and align to their personal values. So what can we do as parents to support our children as they move towards the career decision-making process, or even if they are deeply in it? Here are some actionable tips. Number 1, shift from direction to coaching. To make this shift, you probably need to realize that your experience is not their experience. You might have known what you wanted to be by 18, but remember, like I mentioned, you had such few options to choose from, and the world seemed somewhat stable. Like, you knew, if I become a doctor, I'll still be a doctor in 50 years. Right now, it's not so clear. And speaking honestly, were you as self-aware as these guys are when you are the same age, like around 18? Think about it. Would you have passed up a job because it didn't align to your values? Really? Or would you have spoken up for yourself when you realized that you are being taken for granted? Some of us are still being taken for granted at the ripe age of 45. Aki parenting. This self-aware generation are basically telling us that, okay, you guys did a good job raising good citizens of the world, but now you have to deal with the consequences. The second thing that you need to do is normalize career exploration from an early age. Career planning doesn't start in high school. Start from an early age, showing your children how people are creating opportunities from the problems that exist in the world. And I don't mean unethical stuff. I mean things that people are doing to make do, to live life, to make money, from vertical farming to ingenious businesses and everything in between. Then take them to work. Take them to work, take them to businesses, take them to their hustle, take them to the farm. Exposure is really important for them to be able to make the decisions in their mind of, oh, I like to do this and I don't like to do this. Now, I know that first of all, they will say that they're bored. Then they will ask for your phone and say, I want to watch YouTube. But you can make it like a reward. If you do this and this and this while you're here, then you can watch the phone for 1 hour or something like that. Number 3, validate non-traditional paths. And by this, I don't mean just accepting that somebody can be an esthetician for the rest of their life and they will not go to the university that you wanted them to go to. No, it's not only that. It's about validating their dreams, the ideas that come to their minds. If they come at you with something that really sounds like a fantasy, I mean, it's not realistic at all, don't kill the dream. Talk them through it. Help them refine their ideas by asking the right questions. In doing so, you're teaching them the aspect of critical thinking, how they will critically think about how they want to solve problems. By validating the idea, you're also building self-confidence, and that confidence is what they will use to make their mark in the world. Number 4 is model lifelong learning. We've been told that to survive in the future, you need to be a lifelong learner. How can we support this generation? Show them how you are upskilling yourself as well. Show that careers evolve. Make them part of the process of how your own career is evolving. I'm wishing you the best in this because for me, this triggered an unexpected response. Every time I show my child that I am upskilling or improving myself and I tell her I've gone back to school to become blah, 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 then she tells me, Mommy, you're perfect the way you are. And I'm like, yes, I know. That doesn't mean I can't improve. But I'm hoping in future, she will remember that as she juggles the responsibilities of life and her own dreams, she will remember that her mother also made a sacrifice to pursue her dreams, and she will be encouraged by that. Number 5 is manage your own fears. Separate your dreams for them from the dreams they have for themselves. Remember, even the Bible talks about putting old wine in new skins. The thing to remember is that they need and value your support. You don't need to have all the answers. In fact, from an authenticity perspective, it would come out better if you said, I don't know, but we can find out, rather than claiming to know everything based on your lived experience. Be open to their ideas and show that you have confidence in their decisions, even when you don't. Today's kids aren't rebellious. They're responsive to a world that's changing faster than we ever imagined. If you found this helpful, share it with another parent and subscribe to get more content about how to support your child in their career journey.